Used to the city, now we got our own land. Life's getting real busy. None of it was ever planned. Got the crib looking pretty. With a garden full of plants. And we built our own committee. Yeah, from the bottom we advance. Yeah, back to our roots. Now we get back to our roots. Yeah, put on your boots. It's time to go take off your suit. Back to our roots. Yeah, now we get back to our roots. Yeah, put on your boots. It's time to farm with Cheryl Swoops right now. Yeah, right now.
Hey guys, hope everyone's doing well. Welcome to Back to Our Roots Homestead. As you can see, we are here in the garden. Such a beautiful day, hot here in Texas. But what I want to do is start off, actually before I get into this, I just want to say a couple of things to everybody out there who's watching. I know it's been a rough couple of weeks for all of us, but I just want to say to each and every one of you watching this to stay strong, stay positive, and know that we will get through all of this together. So I want to go over to these buckets. If you can see here, we had some squash here. As you can see, these are dead and gone, finished, as well as this one and this one. I think we have about 6 buckets that we had. What, babe? Squash and zucchini? A total of 6?
Yeah.
6 or 7?
And we got a lot of vegetables off of them. They just, you know, like I say, usually those vine borers get in those squash, and it's really nothing you can do about it. So, you know, I've asked a couple people that I know that are pretty good at it, just how many squash do they average per plant, if that makes sense, just to try to find out if we're getting enough. That one there, we got about 11. Yeah, see, they get into the vines and they just eat it up.
Yeah, but we did get about 7 or 8 squash off of this one plant alone.
Yeah.
As well as this one. This one didn't do as well, but I think we probably got, what would you say, maybe 3 or 4 off of this one?
I got more than that.
Same thing. This one didn't do as well.
Yep.
But what we are going to do is we're going to clean these buckets out and replant more squash and zucchini. So we have about 1, 2, 3, 4, and over here, I think we have 6 buckets total that we're going to be replanting squash in these. And I want to just talk about this okra plant briefly. So we moved this okra plant over because it came out this morning and it had fallen over on top of a green bean plant. Where we live, it gets very windy. So we're trying, this is our first time doing it, so we're trying to figure out the best setup, the best place to sit our okra so that doesn't happen. So if anybody has any suggestions on how we should arrange this, what we should do to try and if you can see, as you can see, it's pretty heavy. So when it falls over, and I'm going to show you guys what happened this morning, it's pretty heavy. So when it fell over this morning, I'll go on this side and I'll turn around and show them. I'm going to go over here, y'all, sorry, so I don't step on. We actually had the plant sitting here, if you can see, and when it came out this morning, it fell over, and this is our green bean plant, and this is what it did to it. So we're trying to figure out what we need to do, because as you can see, we have all of this is okra, red okra, regular okra. What we don't want to happen is for all of these buckets to fall over, because the green bean plants, you guys, look at this. Let me show you. It'll be time to harvest these soon. I'm just going to take this one off and you guys can see it. Look at this. It's beautiful. I don't know if you guys can see the inside of it. God, it smells so good. But, babe, just show them. If you guys can see down here, look at all these green bean plants.
You mean green beans?
Or the green beans, excuse me, not the plants.
Yeah, it's doing well.
So, and this is another one that when that bucket fell, it fell on these. So we got to figure out what to do. to fix the problem.
Have to stake them up.
So, yeah, you see this? And that's a lot, too. It's a big boy.
And I'm sure they're getting heavy just from
Yeah, they are.
from the green beans on them.
So we are going to be we're going to figure out the green beans and what to do with those, as well as we're going to be, as I said earlier, we're going to be replanting some squash and zucchini, but we'll do that. We're going to go over to the herb garden from here. But what I do want to show you guys, because I'll be coming back out later to harvest our eggplant. If you can see this, look at that. There's several on here. And so, babe, when's the best time to harvest eggplant?
Well, from everything I've read,
Look at this.
you want to get them when they're really shiny. If they start to dull out, that means they're overripe, which you don't want that to be. So it's a good time to go ahead and take them now.
Yep, and look at that one.
So you see how there's that like that shine on it where you can see yourself
Beautiful.
in it? That's when they're ready.
So I will be doing a completely separate video, but I am going to come harvest these today, you guys. And I apologize, the noise you're hearing in the background is we're having the pasture mode today, so
The back
it's coming
pasture.
out. But as I was saying, I'm going to harvest these today, and I will be doing a separate cooking video on making eggplant parmesan. This will be my first time. A few of you have reached out and left comments, and because I asked for some different recipes, have never cooked eggplant before. Matter of fact, I've never eaten eggplant before, so this will be my first time. So again, we'll be doing a completely separate video of that, but just wanted to show you guys the eggplant. We will be coming back out when we finish to harvest the eggplant.
And we normally only grow things that we eat, but we also think it's important to try new things. So what we do is, if it's something that we've never had, we won't do 20 plants of it, but we'll do 3 or 4 plants and see if we like it. If we like it, then we can add it to next year's rotation. So you know, it's just about evolving and learning new things. So if we like it, we'll plant it again. If we don't, we won't.
So guys, if you guys have watched, I think it was the last video, no, not the last video, maybe a couple videos, we showed you guys this plant when we had the tropical storm?
Right after it pushed it over.
A lot of wind, rain, and it pushed this one over, and we thought it was dead, it was finished. But as you guys can see, it is trying to come back. And we just told you guys we would keep you updated on how it was doing, what happened with it, but it's looking pretty good so far. So what we will do is go over to the herb garden.
Plant field.
Yeah, it's so windy out here.
I also want to show the temperature. It is basically October, guys. We're a couple of days away from October, and we're
Still about 100 degrees.
100 degrees. So we have to plant most of our fall stuff over in the herb garden where there's some shade, so that it doesn't bolt or get destroyed.
Make sure you show them your good tea.
Best tea in the world right there, guys.
Depends on who you ask.
Best tea in the world right there, guys. So we're gonna head over, and we'll see you in a second. Getting our back pasture mode, guys.
Alright guys, so we've moved over to the herb garden. What we're going to do first, well, before I get started with that, let me just show you our squash and zucchini. So this is our squash that we actually planted in the cups on the 9th of this month. And this is the zucchini. Same time. The 9th. So what we're actually going to do with these, we're going to replace the old squash and zucchini in the big garden that already died. So just wanted to kind of show you guys. There's actually 2 in here. So what I will do is just pick out probably this one. I'll take it out and we'll plant it into the big buckets or the buckets in the big garden. Okay, so I'm going to leave those there for now. And the other thing that I'll have to do is come back. Some of the seeds that we initially planted didn't germinate, so we had to replant them. And as you can see in this one, these are red mustards. I'm not really sure how many seeds we put in here. Clearly a lot.
They like weeds almost.
Yeah, you have to, you can see inside there, I don't even know how many plants that is. But what I'm going to do is go in and thin it out and leave just one good plant in here, and eventually we'll take these out and plant those in the containers as well. But the first thing we're going to do, I'll start with this since I have it over here. This is our Bok Choy. I'm going to take this out. Sorry, I'm going to pick that off. I'm going to take this Bok Choy out and just transfer it, transplant it. I know everybody's terminology is different. And what I'm going to do is put it in, I don't know, baby, is there a reason why you chose, so these black buckets are
3 gallon.
Are they 3 gallon?
Yes.
And the blue ones are 5 gallon. Is there a reason why you chose a 3 gallon for the Bok Choy?
Not really. I just think from what I've studied, they don't need as much room to grow. They produce fast, and they also are really good in up on the
Bok Choy. Sorry.
Like they'll do really good up in this area.
Yeah,
I don't
so
think they
we're
need
not
a lot of sun.
I'm sorry. We're not going to be moving these out to the big garden for a minute because it's still too hot, right, babe?
Yeah, it's still 100 degrees, so we have to be careful. Some things can take sun and they need sun, but some things, a lot of sun, it'll kill them or they'll bolt.
But
So-
it's time for us to take them out of these small cups because as you can see, and right now I'm only going to do a couple just to show you guys, but as you can see we have about 6 or 7 that we need to take out of these cups and move into the big bucket. So, but I just wanted to kind of show you guys just a couple. So that's one, and then I'm going to do the same thing with this one. And we already had the or I didn't, but he already had the buckets made with the soil. And if you guys are, if it's your first time tuning in, if you will go back and watch some of the videos, he talks about what his soil mixture is composed of.
Peat moss, black cow manure, and topsoil.
And then you fertilize them how often?
It depends. Some plants, it really depends on the plant. Most of them I try to do every 2 weeks.
Okay, so what I will do is go back later and just put some water on them and get them watered in.
And we also put blood meal, bone meal, fertilizer, azomite, and a little garden lime in the soil once we mix it all together.
And then in these 5 gallon buckets, what we're going to do is I'm going to take my Swiss chard and we're going to transfer our Swiss chard into the big buckets, just like the Bok Choy. And we're also going to leave the Swiss chard over here for a little while before we transfer it to the big garden as well. Okay, that one looked like it tried to break. Okay, once I put some water in it. And again, I'm going to go back and water these in, guys. So that's a chard.
Also, you can actually put more than one. If you're dealing with
You did want more than
5 gallon buckets, you can put more than one plant in each bucket. I think it's room for it.
That is my fault because you did say you wanted about 2.
You can actually put 2 or 3 in that bucket. Yeah.
So I will go and put another one over here. That's my fault.
It's all right. I mean, you could do it either way. But you also want to spread them out a little different.
Yeah, I will in that one. But I'll just work with this one right now. I'll go back. I'm just trying to show you guys kind of sort of how we do it, but I'll go back and water them in and fix it. So now that I remember we're doing two, I'm going to put one like more to, I'm going to put them more to the side, so then there's room.
And you could do it either way. So that was actually pretty good, because you can do 1 per bucket, or you could do 3 per bucket. A lot of it has to do with how much space you have. So if you're in you don't have as much land, and you can just do one, you could put several plants in 1 bucket. And of course, if you have a lot of land, and you can spread one plant out a little further. So,
and also, if you're lazy and don't want to do a lot of different buckets, you can just put several plants in one. That was a joke. Okay, and then I'll take one more and put it over here.
what's the date on those? Is it, what did we plan?
This chart is
August 24th. So about a month old.
All right, so it's very basic. I'm going to go back and water all of these in, but before I do that, we're actually going to take all of the bok choy and all of the Swiss chard out of the cups up here and move them to their new home for a little while. And once we get that done, we'll come back, water them all in, and show you guys what's next. All right, guys, so as you can see, we have already planted these. I'll start with the chard. We're actually going to take the Swiss chard and sit it out in the sun for a little bit to see if we can get it to stand up. Didn't do anything differently to these, not really sure what's going on, but hopefully some of God's good sunshine will bring them back and they'll stand. This one, I really don't know what happened to that one, but we'll see. We're gonna sit them out in the sun today, let it get a little bit of sunlight before it goes down, and we'll just watch it and see what happens. But the bok choy, which planted it, I've watered this in already. Looking pretty good. We got some dinosaur kale. Dinosaur head kale. Dinosaur, yeah, right?
Dinosaur kale.
Dinosaur kale, sorry. Here, and here. So I've watered this in already, and then these are 1,000 head kale that I'm just gonna finish watering in. So if you guys see the white stuff on top of this, it's the fertilizer. We already had the soil. So he came back and added a little fertilizer to the top of it. Now I just gotta water it in.
And then I'll go behind that and put black cow on top of that. So I like to fertilize it in before I put the black cow. Then I put the black cow, hit it with a little more water.
And if you guys are wondering why I'm putting so much water, because I asked my husband the same question. I kind of want to leave it standing a little bit because this soil has been sitting there for a minute, and you need the water, especially because we just planted them. You need the water to get all the way down to the bottom of the soil, in between the soil, as well as make sure the fertilizer gets down in the soil as well. Did I say that right, babe?
Yeah, and that's why I drilled a hole, so the water will drain out the bottom. So you don't want water sitting, but you do want the soil to hold, and that's where the peat moss comes in handy. It holds the moisture so that the plant can continuously get water.
Yeah, so I'll turn it off for now. And then I'll just show you guys, because I mentioned that I needed to thin out some of my plants I had over here. So if you guys remember, I had a couple. I actually missed one, so I need to cut that one. The beets.
Beets we're gonna put in grow bed, so that should be going out really soon.
Yeah, so I just put that. But I had a few
Grow bags.
I had a few mustard greens that had a gazillion plants in it, so I just went through and thinned some of those out, as well as the beets. And we got a couple of dinosaur kale greens left and 1,000 head kale left.
Squash, we'll put it out today too.
Squash and the zucchini we'll put out.
Still gotta thin those.
Well, yeah, I didn't get over here yet.
Yeah, those are just
Still
regular.
gotta get over here and just thin these greens out.
Those are just regular mustard green.
Yeah, so I'll thin these out later.
And the yellow heart Choy too. It needs to be thin. This came up, so all
Yeah,
6
these
of them
did.
came
Let me
up.
see if I can take one out and you guys can see it. Yep, so I'll come back and I gotta thin these out too. Okay. So I'll set that there. The next thing we're gonna do is just take the Swiss chard, and you wanna sit out in the sun?
Yeah, I'll put it out in the sun.
Yep, we got all this watered in, so that's pretty much all we're gonna do today. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope everyone has a blessed day, a blessed week, a blessed month, and don't forget, everybody, please stay safe, stay healthy, and stay blessed.
And don't forget to like and subscribe our subscribe
Please.
to our channel so that we can grow the channel more. And just thank you guys for all the support.
Yeah, and we will support you. If you have a channel, go to ours, check it out. Make sure you leave a comment, tell us what your channel is, and we will do the same thing. So thank you again for tuning in, and until next time, stay safe, everybody. See you next time on Back to Our Roots Homestead.
See you on the other side, guys.
Yeah, right now, yeah, yeah. Back to our roots, back to our roots, back to our roots.